There will never be anything better than there is now, a poem written and read by Robert John Burton. An artisan gardener, lifelong student, loner, walker, atheist, animal nurse, hated, violated, angry, mad housekeeper, politically adverse, neurodiverse. I suspect anything different than my own diversity, anger caused by others' judgments of my perversity. I have heard what the opinionated have proclaimed, their talk of the problem, and who is to be blamed. But I do not chatter, as I have no belief in solutions. There was never any hope or faith in resolutions, or was never old wisdom or youthful innovations. There will never be anything better than there is now. Not in this random generic reality called a universe that is so mediocre. The longing of the world to be so much better is played as a joker. This cosmos froths and bubbles, different universes emerge, always unlike an identity, very diverse, their laws odd to us surge. To elaborate is no avail, people only fight on this bit of earth, so sure as the most certain can be, but it is futile, it is mirth. I and this mystery here we exist, and something unknown clings, knowing the perfect aptness and desperation of most things. While they pontify in silence and go find a task to do, welcome is every distraction remaking a time anew. There will never be anything better than there is now, finding something that values our living under a dark sky. Does anyone suppose it is lucky to be born as it is to die? Death is easy with the dying, and birth is easy with the new, and wonder and create objects according to known rules. Einstein and other mathematician scientists have made fools of esoteric religious mumbo-jumbo and other ridiculous mules. Stubborn belief that we, earth and the stars, have profound spiritual soul. I am not a believer. The rules of light and gravity have the greater role. There will never be anything better than there is now. God, gods, goddesses and the like all seem only 1% efficient. Every kind for itself and its own, up to a point there is nothing omniscient. Those that have been found the conditions useful, necessary and sufficient, set by many mathematically consistent sets of rules to be self-sufficient. Be tenacious, inquiring, tireless, useful, and dig ground to make your mound. I am old now, was never so young, hurt by stupidity, driven underground. Regardless of others, always regarding others, I am a cosmic junk shot. A child well treated may grow reasonably, but sometimes ends as only a blot. There will never be anything better than there is now. One of the notions of many notions, this university is stupidly constructed. It has got too many arbitrary coupling constraints and nothingness restructured. Superfluous groups of elementary particles, and why designing dark energy? A real horrible contrivance. It is not an elegant universe, it has no synergy. Not the best of all possible worlds in an ethical sense. We suffer awfully, the Holocaust, slavery, AIDS, but then discrimination disguised lawfully. So between nothingness and a fruitful reality is our random generic reality. A learner with the simplest, a novice beginning often noted for its finality. There will never be anything better than there is now, a mixture of chaos and order sailing through space-time with the rest. Different realities. Frothing out there is no further explanation for it. Theory of inflation, which expects an infinite, disordered, pointless fit. Like a big frothing sparkling wine exploding out of a bottle eternally, a vast creation, lots of waste with little closed areas of sense internally. This inflationary scenario may mean I am not stuck up and am in my place. Some reason is stable in its place and the unreasonable is spinning in its space. So there are bitter parts and better parts, and I try to make my mind calmer. The general mediocrity of reality vibrates with the mediocrity I see as drama. Now I measure my self-worth by my own standards because I know there will never be anything better than there is now.